Thank you, Adrian. Well, when this group was drawn, it didn't appear to carry a huge amount of jeopardy. The roles of big hitters and also Rans seemed pretty easily cast. A sense of inevitability about how things would transpire. Now, we might well get to the expected finishing point, but it's been a circuitous route. Match days 1 and 2 have both provided unforeseen twists. Japan coming from behind a humble Germany, and then contriving to lose to a Costa Rica side who'd just been hit for 7 4 days previously. An unexpected lifeline for the Germans, who, as we start tonight, are the only team in Group E who can't win it. But if Spain lead the way and are racing certainties to go through, it's the Mannschaft who are still tipped to join them. The Samurai Blue of Japan ruins Sunday's indifferent display, which many think is destined to cost them. But what we've seen from them in this group so far has underlined that they're a better team without the ball. Their counter-attacking ability, their principal weapon, and they get more chances to display it tonight than they did against the Costa Ricans. But on a night when there are more potential mathematical intricacies, they know that if they lose, they are out. Spain have a huge safety net. Even if they lose, they may well make it through. And they picked a team accordingly with 5 changes. It's their youngest for a World Cup tie since their 2006 loss to France. Unai Simon in goal, as Piliqueta, Rodri, Pau Torres and Balde. Busquets win a 142nd cap in midfield, but his club teammates, the youngsters Gavi and Pedri, flank him. Williams also making his full debut, plays on the right. Morata through the middle, Dani Olmo on the left, and their bench Eric Garcia, Jordi Alba, Carvajal, Laporte, Llorente, Koke, Guillamon, Pino, Carlos Soler, Asensio, Ferran Torres, Sarabia, Ansu Fati, and the keepers Sanchez and Raya. Japan Gonda in goal. Yune Ito, Itakura, Yoshida, Taniguchi and Nagatomo were back 5. Kamada, Morita, Tanaka and Kubo, and Maeda up top. The Japanese bench, Yamane, Tomiyasu, Sakai, Hiroki Ito, Endo Shibaski, Doan Mitoma, Soma, Minamino, Asano Machino, Ueda, and the keepers Karashima and Schmidt. Referee this evening, Victor Gomez from South Africa, part of an all-African refereeing team. The VAR is the Mexican Fernando Guerrero. Well, it was Sierra Khalifa that Japan recorded the best win in their World Cup history. 8 days on, they might need an even bigger one to progress. Victory over the 2010 World Champions will see them through, almost certainly at the expense of Germany, on another night when 2 simultaneous games have 4 World Cup destinies on the line. We're underway. Spain, red shirts, yellow trim. They kick from right to left. Japan with blue shirts, white shorts and yellow numbering. They kick from left to right, defending the end of the ground away to our left-hand side. Maeda putting early pressure on Pau Torres, controlling the ball. The centre-half is making his first start of the tournament, indeed his World Cup debut today. And he plays it back for Rodri, playing centre-half again, the Manchester City man. We expect Spain to dominate possession in this game, but it's what Japan are able to do with it. Out with possession, hitting on the counter-attack and perhaps exposing from set pieces and applying the press. That's the game plan, but will it be good enough? Spain have, I don't think, allowed the Japanese a single touch of the ball so far, as Busquets picks it up again in the midfield and lays it back for Rodri. Pau Torres bringing it forward towards the halfway line and just rolling it into the feet of Morata. Back it goes for Pau again, and now down to Alejandro Balde, who's caught the eye coming off the bench in both of the previous games. A man who's only made a couple of dozen senior appearances for Barcelona in club football, but already a World Cup starter. And now Rodri back for Pau Torres again, and 90 seconds in, Spain's possession in the high 90s in terms of percent. Gavi able to flick it past Nagatomo, who committed himself. The ball is worked wide towards the right-hand side, but driven in too deep for the run of Dani Olmo. And it'll be shepherded out of play by Junya Ito for a throw that'll be taken on the Japanese right-hand side. So 2 minutes, 0-0. Nothing from Spain, except all of the possession. And Japan having to sit back and soak it up. I think we're in for 90 minutes of that.
Certainly looks that way, Jim. You called that early on. You said that the Japanese obviously quite enjoy sitting off and happy out of possession, and it's a really hard back five from the start. The opening moments of the game, a really solid back five, and they look as though they're getting Morita and Maeda trying to block the ball going into Busquets, and they've obviously identified him as a main threat and playmaker through the centre of midfield, out of possession.
And Junior Ito, with the bleached blonde hair, playing at right back in a 5. You came up against him with West Ham when he was playing in Belgian football, and he was a much more advanced player.
He was. He was the biggest threat that we identified for Genk when we played him in the UEFA Cup. I think it was last year or whenever. Yeah, last year I think it was. And he played sort of half-cocked, actually. He was the one that sort of stayed up the pitch, and the counter-attack threat was massive from him. He's got the ability, very winger-esque. But in this role, he looks as though he's near enough a right back, isn't he, in a 5?
Yeah, he played right in a 5 for about 25 minutes in the game against Germany the other day, and then came back forward and played a more advanced role as Japan has shifted from this orthodox back 5 that they're fielding here to a 3-4-3 formation, which they also utilised against Costa Rica. And we'll keep an eye on Ito, who's down in front of us, unmistakable figure with the shock of blonde hair. Spain bringing the ball forward towards halfway again with Pau Torres. 0-0 with 3.5 gone, and 0-0 up country in the desert as well at Al Bayt. The other game in this group between Germany and Costa Rica, and we'll get an early update in a few moments' time. But Pedri dropping off in the midfield for the Spaniards, can pick it up wearing 26, man who turned 20 last week, and one of 4 players in this team aged 20 or under. Here's Pau Torres. Busquets trying to show for the ball, but he's got 2 blue shirts around him, as Stuart detailed a few moments ago. Now Japan can turn it over. Tanaka looking for Maeda, who will be able to pick it up from Pau Torres and win the seconds, and he's got good movement outside him as well, coming from Kubo. Get towards the byline, pulls it back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, can't find the man. Spain defending frantically are able to dig it clear, and then Gavi will lose out to Nagatomo just outside the area, and Nagatomo is waved back to his feet. Referee says no foul, Victor Gomez, and Spain will bring it forward. Japanese thought they had a case there as Nagatomo went to ground. But that was Japan's game plan in microcosm. Sit back, soak it up, but then go quickly, and Kubo's got good pace down this right-hand side. Just couldn't quite supply the right delivery.
Yeah, I covered the Argentina-Poland game yesterday, and Poland sat off and let Argentina have the ball. But the trouble was, when they turned it over, they had no pace on the counter-attack. And as you've picked up there, Jim, the Japanese look as though they're very capable on the counter-attack. Great pace, and people prepared to run off the ball and with the ball.
Here's Balde. It's going to be interesting seeing how many times Busquets touches it tonight compared to previous games in this World Cup, because he is being strongly marked, almost double man marked. The Japanese midfielder tag teaming him at the moment. Balde has it on this is a full international debut. And he's gone back for Pau Torres. Rodri then working it out to the other side of the defence for Cesar Azpilicueta, who can play a little wall pass into Busquets, and who gets it back again. It's 0-0 with 5 gone. As things stand right now, Spain win the group, Japan go through with them, but there's a long, long way to go on the day that Belgium have been eliminated and Morocco won their group, and that means the group winners of this, currently Spain, will face Croatia on Monday, and the runners-up of this group, currently Japan, face Morocco. As the ball is played inside the area for Dani Olmo to try and get on the end of. Spain dig it clear. Busquets can pick it up, but he's not just fired it over the bar, he's hit it halfway back the running track and in towards the Japanese supporters away behind the goal to our left-hand side. First starting goal for either team, 6 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, you obviously see that the Japanese have done their own work and looked at the passing maps of the Spanish and realised a lot goes through Busquets and decided, look, you're not going to be part of that. We're going to break the chain and stop the ball coming to you so you can't feed it on.
Jimmy Moriyasu, very highly regarded head coach, the Japanese, who was the assistant at the last World Cup as they lost in the round of 16 to Belgium. They led 2-0 in that game with 20 minutes to go. Ended up losing 3-2, and that's a Chadley scoring a deep in stoppage time with almost the last kick. They got out of the group last time because of their disciplinary record. They're finishing above Senegal. It's probably not going to be that close tonight for them, but it might not be too far short. Busquets with a poor touch inside his own penalty area. He's picked up by Kubo. Kubo clipping it over the top. Maida trying to get in there. Tanaka as well. Played down to the right-hand side of the area. Ito has a shot in towards the near post. It was covered by Unai Simon. Got his foot to it, or down by the post, but it crept just wide into the side netting. And all after Spain's most experienced man, Busquets, inexplicably lost possession.
Well, it's probably what we identified against Germany when there's a real heavy press, and that was a heavy press by the Japanese. They went in numbers and they went quickly. All of a sudden, panic setting on Busquets. He weren't quick at moving his feet, and they were very fortunate to get away with not conceding.
You christened him Crew Junction, but he very nearly conjured up a moment there that induced a Spanish points failure. Here's Pau Torres. 4 days I've been working on that. Pau Torres over the halfway line. Back for Rodri. Inside the centre circle. And Azpilicueta now will just knock it back again to the heart of the back line. It's 0-0 with 8 gone. Pau Torres to Pedri. Clever little give and go between Morata and Pedri. Morata was fouled. He's ended up on the deck and the play goes on. Dani Olmo with a clever back heel. Bowdy getting round the back. Pulls it back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but Tanaka is there to be able to knock it away, and then Pedri shepherds the ball over the line, and Spain have the first corner of the night. Here's the former England captain, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, it's certainly a safety in numbers routine here from the Japanese, getting big numbers back in, securing that box, and whenever Spain get in behind them, they're going to make sure they fill up between the goalposts.
Corner's taken short to Gavi. Dani Olmo then sweeping it in. Flick header and comfortably saved by Gonda in the Japanese goal. So we're 9 minutes in. It's 0-0. What's happened in the early stages up at Al Bayt? Here's Jeff Peters.
It's all Germany, but it's 0-0. Navas has made saves from Musiala and then from Gnabry. Thomas Muller's just put a free header wide. It's Costa Rica 0, Germany 0.
Jeff, thank you. So the group stands at the moment: Spain 5, Japan 4, Costa Rica 4 with an inferior goal difference, and Germany 2. Remember, Japan, if they lose this, they're out. If they win, they've won the group. Spain through if they avoid defeat, or if the other game is a draw. But realistically, the only way the Spanish can be knocked out is if they and Germany both lose. Rodri's got possession for the Spanish and he's inside the Japanese half of the centre circle. We'll be pretty happy at the way the game plan has gone so far. The 5-4-1 formation working very effectively. Let's go back to that game at Al Bayt. Jeff Peters.
Costa Rica 0, Germany 1. Serge Gnabry with a header, ball played in from the left-hand side. This goal has been coming in the opening 10 minutes. Lovely little finish. Germany lead 1-0.
And that changes the complexion of the group completely. Spain top, but Germany now up into second. They've got 4 points, so too Japan. They've got an equal goal difference, but Germany have scored more goals. So Spain going through as group winners and Germany going through with them at the moment with that 1-0 lead they have against Costa Rica. 0-0 with 10 minutes gone here at Khalifa in Al Rayyan, and the ball will be worked for by Pau Torres, who's probably seen more of it than anybody else on the field in these opening minutes. Now down towards Dani Olmo. Ito faces him up, trying to stop the cross coming in. Kubo then comes to double up. Dani Olmo whacks it towards the edge of the area where it hits his teammate Pedri, but it breaks out towards Williams. Back in from Gavi, cleared easily enough inside the penalty area by the Japanese back line. Morita's ball in there. Morata makes it 1-0 to Spain. Ball driven inside the penalty area. Morata attacked it, got past the blue shirts, powers his header in. Spain are going to be winning the group. Japan in desperate trouble now. It is Japan 0, Spain 1 on TalkSport as Morata does it again, continuing his record of scoring in every game in the tournament.
Well, it looks as though within 10 minutes of both games, the group is looking as though it's going to be very, very defined. Poor marking, I've got to say. Morata just drifted between the three central defenders and no one's picked him up. As I say, they've forced out but not marked as they've come out. Really, really poor marking. Itakura certainly had no idea where Morata was, and from 6 yards out he was never going to miss.
Only the second Spaniard in history to score in his first 3 World Cup games. The last Zara back in 1950. Morata with the goal. On the counter-attack, though, Maida at the other end plays it inside the 6-yard box, and it'll be clear.
Question for you, Jim. At what stage, if you're the Japanese, do you turn around and get rid of this defensive line that they're playing at the moment and say, look, we've got to go and win a game? Because you know elsewhere, potentially with the Germans taking the lead, and they'll be aware of that, you're going to have to probably win a game tonight. Or certainly get more out of this game.
I don't think he will do it. I think that he will keep the 3 centre-halves. He'll push Ito forward. He might bring Matoma on for Nagatomo at some stage on the far touchline, a more attack-minded player down the left, but I don't think he will panic Moriyasu, because the bottom line is that as soon as Germany scored, Japan already knew that they were up against it, and they were in a position that they also needed to score. So it actually hasn't changed an awful lot as things are right now. Japan needed to score at that stage. They need to score now, and were they to find an equalising goal, they go back above Germany again. But they trail by a goal to nil. Spain in possession inside their own half. You with TalkSport 2, whereas Japan 0, Spain 1. And live over on TalkSport for you right now, Germany leading Costa Rica by a goal to nil. But you won't miss anything of any consequence from that game up country. It'll be here for you as soon as it happens with Jack. The ball is with Rodri in the midfield for Spain, just dropping back into his centre-half position again. It's the 5th time that Rodri's played at centre-half for his country, but that includes each of the last 3 games. Balde to Pau Torres, and back for his goalkeeper Unai Simon. And he will work it out. The possession at the moment, 78% to Spain, just 16 to Japan, with the other 6% in contest. Ball cleared by Taniguchi. Whacked out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Spanish left-hand side. 14 gone, Japan 0, Spain 1 the score.
Yep, certainly the way it's looking at the moment, they're not dispensing with the tactical line-up that they've had and employed from the offset. But the longer the game goes on, you think they've got to be more adventurous in the way they play, potentially.
Do you think that there's a case, Stu, that if they did try to be more adventurous too quickly, they'd just exposing themselves against the side who are clearly better footballing team? I mean, Japan will be the first to admit that. The Spaniards have got more technical excellence than them. They've just got to try and keep it tight to a certain extent and still be in the game with a platform which to build. Maybe if Germany were to score a second, it would change things a little bit, because then Japan's task is even more difficult, but at the moment they're only goal away from going through. Yeah,
I would say as they stand at the moment, they're quite content, I would have thought, but you know, if it goes to 2, all of a sudden you've got to reassess that, or I think if you've got less than sort of 20 minutes on the clock, you've really got to change it.
Well, Pedri's got possession here for Spain. The Japanese, glad they're not getting paid by the touch tonight. Ito putting a little bit of pressure on Balde, but the young left back and working back for Pau Torres, exchanging passes again with Rodri, and that's going to be a very well ploughed furrow by the end of the night. Torres on the edge of the centre circle into the feet of the goal scorer Morata, and then played out towards Cesar Azpilicueta on the Spanish right hand side. The Chelsea man winning his 44th cap this evening. Pau Torres again inside his own half of the centre circle. Rodri, Busquets under pressure from Morita, but now has been able to run off and find a little bit of space. Comes down towards Pedri cleverly to his left hand side. Balde trying to take on Ito on the outside, checks back in, can't get the ball in past the other number 14 on the field, and then as Pedri delivers it hits Tanaka, comes back to Pedri, just got caught off the ball, but play goes on. The Spanish have it with Rodri again, and now down to his left-hand side for Pau Torres, who continues to be the fulcrum of possession in this Spanish team. 17 minutes gone, it's Japan 0, Spain 1 here on TalkSport. Kubo winning it back for the Japanese, but he's still inside his own half. Junya Ito, the right back, working it back for the experienced figure of the former Southampton man, Yoshida, and he plays it wide out to the Japanese left for Nagatomo with his dyed red hair, but he's lost possession. Naki Williams Nico Williams, whose brother Inaki is in the Ghana squad, but Nico Williams picking it up on the right-hand side of the Spanish front three. Back for Balde. Balde to Olmo and straight back again. And Spain masters at being able to keep possession. No surprise that in their World Cup history they've only ever lost 5 games when they've scored first. Japan, for their part, have only ever won once when they've conceded first. And that was the come-from-behind win against Germany, where they were a goal down at half-time 8 days ago on this very pitch. Torres again to Balde, just outside the Japanese technical area, controlling the ball and laying it back inside his own half for the centre-half Pau Torres of Villarreal. His only international goal came on his debut a few years ago. Japan get it back and work it through the midfield. Tanaka to Ito, down towards Kubo. Kubo with quick feet ran into Dani Olmo, who's judged to have fouled him. He's gone down holding his face, Kubo. And he's got a free kick, which will be taken just inside Spanish territory. 1-0 to the Spanish. Germany leading the other game 1-0. They're going through as well as things stand here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, just looking, something I've not seen in the previous 2 games from Spain. On occasion, Gavi's dropping back to alongside the centre halves just to make up a 3 to play out from the back, and allowing Azpilicueta to just push on a little bit, and just a little bit of rotation, probably because they're so congested in that sort of mid-band area with the 5 and the 4.
But Busquets now beginning to find a little bit more space, and more going through him as a result of that. Balde, Pau Torres, and then his ball forward is knocked away by Itakura. Itakura on a yellow card tonight, so too Busquets, so they would miss the round of 16 tie if their nation qualifies if they get a caution tonight. And that was one of the reasons why there was plenty of speculation Busquets might sit this one out, but he's in the side, playing his 30th match at a major tournament for Spain, which is some record. This is 7th major tournament of his career.
I think they probably see him so important to this system and how it works, Jim. You know, I've said a lot about certain players stay in their position, if you like, on build-up, but so much goes through him. They probably trust him so much on the ball.
He's got it again now, just played forward towards Gavi on the right-hand side of those 2 wider midfielders. And now Busquets, Pedri making a straight run through the middle for Busquets, who controls it and then languidly turns and goes back the other way, finding Pau Torres again. Back inside the centre circle. Rodri, and to Azpilicueta. Williams trying to work it down the line where Gavi was supplying the width. Was just a little shove from him. Free kick has been given. Let's get another update from Al Bayt. Germany leading the last time we were with Jeff Peters.
It's still 1-0 to Germany. They've had another great chance from Goretzka. Navas making yet another save. It is all Germany. They lead 1-0.
So Spain 7, Germany 4, Japan 3, Costa Rica 3. That's how the group looks at the moment. So a long way to go, but it will be Spain, Croatia and Germany, Morocco, Monday and Tuesday, respectively, next week. We've got all the games for you on the TalkSport network. Part of the 450-plus games we'll bring you on TalkSport over the course of the season. Japanese win possession back. Ito to Itakura, who almost turned into trouble. He looked to try and play it back to his goalkeeper Gonda, but the avenue was shut. Japan have been able to turn and play out. Nagatomo working back through the midfield for Morita. But Busquets has it, and Spain have taken complete control of this. The on-isolated counter-attack we saw in the opening 5-6 minutes have dissipated somewhat, and Spain have got a real stranglehold on the game. 1-0 they lead, they've got possession. Pau Torres forward towards the halfway line. Waiting for a little bit of movement ahead of him, which didn't really come from Morata, but it's worked to his left-hand side instead for Balde, and now back for Rodri and out towards Azpilicueta. 1-0 Spain.
Yeah, Spain totally outclassing the Japanese. You can tell that man for man, they're way outclassed. But what they do, Japan, which is quite good, and a lot of teams don't when you're defending deep with numbers, on the turnover they pass short and get some passes in. They don't just hack it away in panic.
Taniguchi read a forward pass and found Kamada out towards Nagatomo, but Japan's possession didn't last for long, and Spain have got it back near the edge of their own penalty area. And such is Spain's dominance that it's taken a world record 19 minutes only for the Mexican wave to go around. And that is the noise that you can hear, principally in the background behind us. The excitement of the Mexican wave building as it goes anti-clockwise around the stadium. Just going past 9 o'clock as we speak. We're sitting at about 7 o'clock in this stadium. 3 hours ahead of you time-wise. It's 20 past 10 in the evening. Not a humid night here in Al Rayyan tonight. It's been a little bit close during the day. A bit of cloud in the air. Ball played out to the Spanish right. Morata again with a snapshot after Gavi did well to thread it through. But in getting the ball past Itakura, he couldn't really get the power on the shot, and he was comfortably saved by Gonda. He plays out from the back quickly. And Japan make a mess of getting the ball in the midfield. Now when they work it forward, they pass it straight to Busquets, and it'll come down for Balde again. And Spain completely dominating possession, which is in the mid-80s for them at the moment. And this 1-0 lead is as comfortable as you like.
Yeah, it certainly is. Morata's quite impressed me in these early stages. He's working tirelessly across the line on his own, making some really good runs. A couple of times they've not delivered the ball to him in behind the back line, but certainly, well, obviously he's got his goal already, but apart from that, his movement's been really good.
Yeah, he's now scored in 4 games in a row, all 3 in this World Cup, and the previous one as well, taking his international record up to 30 in 60. He's in the top 5 all-time leading international goal scorers from Spanish shores, and they've come at a rate of 1 every other game, which is pretty tidy as well. Pedri. Ball towards Busquets, snap back for Pau Torres, and now fall through the midfield again. Gavi, Morata, good movement from him, the angle's tight, trying to check it back, Danny Olmo, and it's a really good block in front of goal, as Olmo took the ball with his right foot, got a shot in which was deflected away, but the offside flag was up from the Lesotan official over on the far side, and it is a free kick which Japan will take inside their own 6-yard box. We're 24 minutes in, Japan 0, Spain 1, and Germany over on TalkSport lead Costa Rica 1-0.
Yeah, we just saw the Morata movement there. He just hovers on the line, on the move, runs across the line, then dips in. On that occasion, just went slightly too early.
So what did Japan need to do? You've talked about the dilemma the coach Hajime Moriyasu faces. At what stage he decides that he's got to start twisting rather than sticking with the hand that he's got. What do they need to do to stop this Spanish possession, or is it just a case of stay disciplined and defend well?
I think it almost plays into Spain's hands. I've seen one team
as Kamela's caught offside on a Japanese break.
I've seen one team for 45 minutes in this group press the Spanish, and I've seen the Japanese do it on one occasion in this, and it's caused a little bit of panic. I think somewhere down the line you've almost got to say, listen, if we concede at the other end, so be it, but we've got to do a really heavy hard press. To do that, you've probably got to dispense with 5 at the back at some stage. I'm of an opinion, like probably you mentioned earlier, it's probably too soon to do it. It would buck trend of what they're used to and how they enjoy playing. But at some stage, if the score stays as is, from half-time or certainly midway through the second half, they've got to change the way they play and get a hard press on Spain.
Japan have got possession in a more advanced area now. Kamada playing it back for Taniguchi. But then the possession turned over in the midfield again. Tanaka not able to really get a grip of the ball in that kind of situation up to this point. The Japanese are a nation that are happy to make early changes. We've seen half-time substitutes in both of their games so far. Like 2 in the last game. Spain will be able to bring it forward here with Pau Torres. And they'll come forward towards the halfway line once more. Danny Olmo, left-hand side of the penalty area, faced up by Itakura. Clever little back heel flick. Balde will get to the dead ball line and keep it in, but in pulling it back, he can't find Pedri on the edge of the penalty area. It's a difficult chance for him to be able to play in the teammate. Japan will work it forward. Kubo looking for Maida. Maida backed away, and that made it very easy for Spain to be able to pick things up with Rodri. And yet again, the Spanish will pick it up deep inside their own half, build from the back and get it forward towards Busquets, which is the ever familiar theme. Playing against Spain, it must at times feel literally like death by 1,000 passes. And The Spanish once more just working it back towards Pedri. Japan having to be diligent and just try and keep a defensive shape. Balde, back for Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo working forward, and Busquets has been fouled. The referee's just going to have a word with Morita for that challenge, but it won't be a yellow card. It's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Spain, 6 or 7 yards inside Japanese territory. 1-0 Spain lead it, 27 gone.
Yeah, I'm not overly sure that was a free kick from Morita. I'm really not. I think he took good possession of the ball, but it's certainly clear that Busquets is getting more and more touches, more and more involved in this game.
Busquets with another risky ball. Went back for his goalkeeper, almost presented it straight to Maida in a central position on the edge of the penalty area. That's the second time that a little bit of pressure in the midfield has nearly embarrassed Busquets. Spain can win it back. They've worked it forward. And Japan can only half divert it. Then Dani Olmo, in getting it forward, thought Morata wasn't quite where he was and printed a through ball that Morata stood no chance of getting on the end of, and it goes through for the Japanese goalkeeper Gonda. He's bowled it out for Ito, but he's promptly given the ball away. Ito just ran straight into Balde, and Japan are just having no let-up whatsoever, having to get through such a prodigious amount of work with the amount of chasing that they're doing off the ball. It remains 1-0 to Spain.
Yeah, they just can't get up the pitch, Jim. You know, when they've turned the ball over, they've taken a couple of short passes, which is a good sign, and then all of a sudden, that fourth or fifth pass, they've just been a bit loose and turned it over again.
More live football coming your way tomorrow. The conclusions of Group G and H. That's Group H in the afternoon. South Korea, Portugal. That's on TalkSport from 3. Ghana, Uruguay on TalkSport 2 at the same time. Then join Adrian Stewart and myself tomorrow night for Cameroon, Brazil. Kicks off at 7 o'clock. Brazil hoping to seal first place in Group G with a 100% record. Serbia, Switzerland, the other game in that group, is live for you on TalkSport 2 with Anna Bridge and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. We've then got all the knockout stage matches coming up for you as well, starting on Saturday. No rest day because of this condensed World Cup between the knockout stages and the round of 16. 2 games for each of the next 4 days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. England in action, no you're aware, on Sunday, 7 o'clock in the evening, that England-Senegal game, which is also live here from our bait on TalkSport Sunday night. Spain, the here and now, we know that they're going to be going through as well, and almost certainly booking a tie with Croatia. Ball played forward by Pedri. Too long though, and Itakura has got plenty of time under only lip service of pressure from Dani Olmo to work it back for his goalkeeper Gonda, who doesn't panic and side puts it out through the midfield. Morita, little 1-2 between him and Ito. Tanaka then laying it back for Yoshida, and he goes wide for Nagatomo, but gets the angle on the pass wrong and only finds Azpilicueta. It's something you touched upon the other night, and the same is true today. Balde will push forward from left back. Azpilicueta, no interest in doing that really from right back in for what is an increasingly lopsided Spanish formation, Stuart.
Yeah, as I say, Balde is a full-back that is quite happy to get forward. He sees it a part of his game, and for such a young man, he's a decent talent. I quite like what I'm seeing from a left back, and he gets forward when he can. He's quite comfortable on the ball, and he delivers a decent cross, but slightly different to what they've got normally.
Taniguchi stepping up from the Japanese defensive line, works it into the midfield. Maida can't get it to stick, and Spain have it again. That's Luis Enrique that you can hear bellowing from the edge of the technical area, arms outstretched, just leaning back almost comedically for a moment in his white trainers, furious with what he's seeing, some aspect of this Spanish performance. The chances have been really few and far between when you consider that the possession and the territorial advantage has been utterly dominant. Now Japan try and apply the press as the ball goes back for Unai Simon, but it wasn't the most convincing press, and Spain have been able to easily play their way through it. Let's go back to our bait, where Germany continue to lead Costa Rica in front of Jeff Peters.
Yeah, still 1-0, 31 minutes played. Thomas Muller with a great chance, free header before that goal. Musiala with an effort deflected for a corner a few moments ago. Still all Germany, and still 1-0.
And Germany going through because of that, bottom of the group at the start of the night, but up to second as things stand now. But all it would take would be a Japanese equaliser for Japan to go back above Germany. And they would then, if it stayed that way, qualify as a result of a head-to-head record. It is very, very close. They'll both be on 4 points. Both scored 3, conceded 3. But the fact that Japan beat Germany would see the Germans eliminated. But Japan need an equalising goal and nothing else to happen in that other game for that scenario to come into play. Busquets went down for a moment. Just a victim of a heavy challenge. No yellow card. Picked himself up belatedly. The game stopped, and then there's Spain working back for Unai Simon, and then he plays out. Gavi is caught from behind. It's going to be another free kick, which Spain will take in their right back position. And we're in the last 12 minutes or so of this first half on TalkSport 2. Japan 0, Spain 1. It remains Morata's goal.
Yeah, there's a level of naivety about the Japanese team, but also as well a level of honesty, I think, about their play, you know. So I think they will get opportunities within the game, but they'll be so few and far between that they're going to have to sort of make best of them when they can.
Japan have it once more, and it's Yoshida who can bring it forward. He just tried to lay off a feathered ball to his right-hand side for Tanaka, but missed him. And so Spain can win it back. How long do you think Japan's longest passing move of this game has been so far? 3-4 passes? Nothing more than that.
No, without a doubt. As I say, and they've had opportunities to build, and they've done, you know, naive things like try and flick it round the corner when it's come up to the centre forward that's given it away, or flick it off as they've just seen just then, instead of just sustaining the ball and being safe, if you like.
The ball's gone back for Unai Simon. He is a absolute nightmare with the ball at his feet. He's got away with that one. He was able to chip it out towards Azpilicueta, and Spain will try and launch a counter-attack, getting Williams down the right, but Yoshida's positioning meant sure he had a head start. But we identified it before the game, and the ball is played back for Unai Simon. Apply the press then, and you never know what's going to happen. And there have been 3 occasions where they've almost been able to force an error out of him, and that was the closest of them. He came so close to running it back towards his own goal line, then nearly out of play for a corner under pressure from Maida, but he did get away with it. Japan then work it for the next phase of play, and the offside flag is up against Kamada.
Well, as you say, 3 times now, and couple that with the second half of the German game, I think teams that are looking to play or going to come up against Spain later in the tournament are going to be watching this and thinking, you know what, this is their Achilles heel.
Now clearly you're going to have a lot of defending to do. You're going to have to be really good without the ball, but the blueprint's been laid down. Everyone knows how Spain are going to play. They don't change it. It's 4-1-2-3. And everybody knows where the problem areas are. It's just they gamble and back themselves to be good enough going forward at the other end of the pitch. They can get away with it. I mean, it's not as if they're conceding a stack of goals, only the 1 in the tournament so far, but they've had a few nervy moments along the way. Here's Kubo bringing it forward on the inside left channel for a moment, the right winger. Ball in to him again from Nagatomo. Kubo turns back out. Nagatomo with a chance to deliver. The veteran left back pulling it back for Kubo instead. Yoshida's forward showing in support. Morita waiting for the ball. Maida waits on the edge of the area, and Spain have pushed back out, trying to condense the play, keeping a very high line. Tanaka to Taniguchi, played for by Itakura, the right-footed centre-half, out towards Junya Ito on the right, and he's trying to take up a slightly more advanced position now. An opportunity from the edge of the penalty area for Kamada. Right-footed shot comes in from him. That one blocked by Pau Torres, but it goes out of play for a Japanese throw down by the corner flag. And just to reiterate the situation as things stand at the moment, if Japan find an equaliser here, they'll go back into second place in the group.
Yeah, the Japanese, when they do things quickly and have got to react quickly, they're not bad. They're pretty good. Just almost when they give them more time to think, they sort of overthink things and take too many natural chances that they basically shouldn't.
Spain have a throw. Japan's throw very quickly came to nothing, and Balde, a much more advanced throw on the left-hand side, midway inside his own half, will take the throw. Just given the hurry up by the South African referee. Takes the throw in towards Dani Olmo, fires it, had to go briskly because he was under pressure from Ito, but he's played it safely enough back inside his own penalty area for Rodri, and out towards Azpilicueta. And he controls it, comes in off the right flank, and Just drops it at the feet of Gavi. A youngster in the Spanish midfield, just 18 years of age, their youngest ever World Cup player. Now Dani Olmo to Pedri. A little bit of space for Morata, who's dropped off, and when he did so, Gavi filled in the number 9 role for a moment, the man who's wearing 9 for Spain appropriately. The Spanish pushing forward well inside Japanese territory as Pau Torres has it. He's clipped it over the top. It was a strange choice of pass, really, for the area ball over the top. Itakura heads it back to his goalkeeper, who fires it long straight down the middle. They were trying to get Kamada isolated against Pau Torres, but the quality of the ball forward wasn't good enough to find him. And Spain pick it up in the midfield again. With 7 to go to half-time, Spain and Germany lead their respective games 1-0.
Yeah, that was probably that naivety that I've just talked about there. The goalie's picked it up. One centre forward up the pitch on his own with 3 Spanish defenders around him, and he still tries to play it quickly, and it's a no-hope ball. It's a giveaway.
Morata gave it away. Japan won it back for an instant, no more than that. Daisen Maeda getting it back, losing just as quickly, and Spain have it with Azpilicueta working it for Williams. Back for Azpilicueta again. Square from one centre-half to another. Played into the feet of Busquets on the edge of the penalty area, who then gave Pedri almost a hospital pass. And stepping up from the midfield, it was a rash challenge, I think it's fair to say, from Itakura, who came straight through Pedri. He's picked up a yellow card, and that means that if Japan can salvage this, he'll miss the round of 16 tie through suspension.
Yeah, I think with both games still hovering at 1-0. They're both in the balance, if you like, even though potentially both the power nations, if you like, in this group are comfortably in possession and comfortable on top.
Japan have only ever had 3 wins against European sides at the World Cup. They beat Russia in 2002 and Denmark 8 years later. And then Germany 8 days ago. Don't need to win this game. If they do, they've won the group, but second place would do them just nicely. And I think you can make a case that, notwithstanding how impressive Morocco have been so far, that it's just as advantageous to finish second as it is to finish first in this group, get Morocco rather than Croatia. Ball on the right-hand side of the Spanish penalty area as Japan try to make something of it, and Tanaka finds Baldi's defensive excellence too good for him. Baldi doing well just to nip in between Tanaka and the ball, and then shuffling back towards his own dead ball line, protected the space and let it run out of play for a goal kick. Here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, this is probably what this formation, and Ito being so deep, playing right wing back, almost right back. If the ball would have broke there to him, he is the one that's got the ability to go past people, very much a winger type, you know, and on that occasion Tanaka was the individual who picked the ball up in an advanced area and just didn't have the trickery.
Busquets for Azpilicueta. I think you can guarantee that Japan will make changes at the break. Wouldn't be surprised to see Kaoru Mitoma of Brighton come on. Club teammate Alexis McAllister scoring a crucial goal for Argentina yesterday. Yoshida playing it forward, headed on through the midfield by Tanaka, and then Taniguchi, but it's returned by Azpilicueta. Loose ball going out to the Spanish right for Williams. Nico Williams, who came on as a right winger in the first 2 games, starting there tonight. He only made his debut in Switzerland recently. The Athletic Bilbao front man. The Spanish have worked it from that far touchline, the right-hand side down towards the near side, the left, and Balde chipping it over the top. Dani Olmo chasing after it. He's clipped the ball high up in the air. He's got it over Ito. Then he fires it in. It hits Ito and comes back to him. Olmo again, waiting for support. Balde just behind him is played in. Laid back for Pedri. He's twisting and turning and then pirouetting away on the corner of the penalty area. Azpilicueta. Williams picking it up and goes back for the Chelsea man. Busquets almost hit the referee with a behind square pass. Now for Pau Torres. Pedri given away by Busquets, who then wins it back, and Itakura had a pull of the shirt and then let go, thought better of it, having already got himself booked. Dani Olmo has a shot that's blocked, comes back out for Pedri, now down for Balde again as we enter the final 3 minutes of the first half in both games, and still Germany leading the other one 1-0 live right now over on TalkSport. You've got the TalkSport app, you can swipe between the two very easily. This one, Spain 1, Japan 0, after Morata's goal on 11 minutes. Serge Gnabry was that got the Germany goal, incidentally, only about 60 seconds prior to that. Here's Azpilicueta, forced to go back under a little bit of pressure on the far side from Camara. Unai Simon well outside his penalty area, just controls it and siphons it out for Pau Torres. Busquets has got it. Game being played underneath the feature of this Khalifa International Stadium, a big arch over on the far touchline, lit up tonight by red lights, and it's the red-shirted Spaniards that are doing the business on the field. It's been comfortable for them, but Japan's still in with a puncher's chance. A draw would be enough for them as things stand at the moment. Maida, as Japan tried to break, did his best to take it with his back to the direction of play and lay it off the Kubo, but they simply haven't had the finesse or the accuracy of the passes when they've tried to counter-attack quickly.
I think there was naivety. When the ball comes into a centre forward there, what you need from the players that are getting up to support is him just to hold the ball. Get turned if you can. If not, hold the ball. We'll go beyond you, one of us, and one of us will support from behind. But it's that level of naivety there.
Now it's the ball challenged by Taniguchi over on the far touchline, and Gavi's on the deck, and it's going to be a free kick which Spain will take, which gives us another opportunity as the Japanese player is booked to find out what's going on in the Germany game. Jeff?
Germany still leading Costa Rica 1-0. Costa Rica have just had a really good opportunity through Fuller. Neuer tipping it over the bar. They could be level, but it's still Costa Rica 0, Germany 1.
Well, a draw in that game, as things stand at the moment, would see Costa Rica go through. So it's very finely poised. Spain are going to win the group, you would imagine, but in behind them they continue to jockey for position. And you just wonder if there are a few more twists and turns tonight. Taniguchi in the book then, joining teammate Itakura, and that's another poor challenge in the midfield. It's going to be another yellow card as Yoshida picks up the latest one. So Itakura, Taniguchi, and now Yoshida, all carded in this first half for Japan. And a free kick which Spain will take about 12 yards or so in the Japanese half. 20 seconds to go to half-time, not too much stoppage time to be added. And it's 1-0 to Spain.
Yeah, Yoshida moaning there that Morata's gone to ground on more than one occasion. I think he's got a point there, and I'm not overly sure he's caught him that badly, if at all.
1 extra minute to be played at the end of this first half. We're in it now. Pau Torres. Back to his goalkeeper Unai Simon, and he works it outside the penalty area to the edge of the centre circle. They're also playing 1 additional minute in the Germany-Costa Rica game, and Germany still lead at 1-0. Pau Torres playing it forward over the halfway line. Morata coming to meet it, then chipping it on the half turn out towards Azpilicueta, who will bring it forward towards the edge of the box. Williams is outside him. Spain looking to double their lead in the last moments of this first period, and nearly did. The curving effort which went over the bar, curved it back in. It's taken deflection on its way off Williams' cross, and a corner to Spain has been given on the far side, their second of the game.
Yeah, it's really important now for the Japanese that they don't concede before half-time. Still in the game, 1-0, certainly with the result at the other ground as well. They're in the mix at the moment.
Both games end in draws. Japan go through, remember. Dani Olmo with this corner. Out comes the goalkeeper. Beats it away outside the penalty area. And that's the last action of the first half. Well, Japan have got work to do, but they came from behind at half-time to beat Germany here 8 days ago in the win that seemed to set up their World Cup campaign. Now they need to come from behind and get at least an equalising goal. Spain set fair as things stand after Morata's opener. Half-time, Japan 0, Spain 1. Well, we mentioned that Japan love a half-time change. They're making another 2 today. And Spain also rotating the pack right now. The Spanish change is going to see Dani Carvajal replace Cesar Azpilicueta. Japan have taken Kubo off, and Doan is on to replace him, and Mitoma is on for Nagatomo. Straight swap at left wing back. Doan for Kubo, an interesting one. Doan tends to play in the centre of midfield, replacing a winger. So it'll be interesting to see if Japan do shuffle things around a little bit in a formation point of view. Well, Spain are unbeaten in 16 World Cup matches when they've led at half-time. Now that's a run that stretches back to a defeat against Brazil 60 years ago. But this group, with 45 minutes to go, still beautifully poised. Spain have got complete control of it, but Germany are currently second. If Japan score the next goal, they move up to second. If Costa Rica score the next goal in their game with Germany, then they go up to second. Still, loads to play for with 45 minutes to go.
Yeah, there certainly is, but I think from the Japanese point of view, I think we'll see them be a little bit more adventurous, getting on the front foot.
So Doan is playing as a straight swap in Kubo's position on the right-hand side of the front three. And Mitoma playing as a left wing-back, but it is going to be a 3 rather than a 5, you would imagine, in this second half. Now, certainly has been in the opening 40 seconds or so.
Yeah, even at these early juncture, I mean, at the start of the first half, they certainly was a blanket 5 across the line. Already you can see that the wing-backs are looking to push on and be more aggressive in their play.
So Spain line up Unai Simon in goal, Carvajal, Rodri, Pau Torres and Balde, Gavi, Busquets and Pedri, Williams, Morata and Dani Olmo. Japan, Gonda in goal, Itakura, Yoshida, Taniguchi, Junya Ito, Morita, Tanaka, Mitoma, Doan, Maeda, Kamada. 1-0 to Spain, Morata on 11 minutes. 1-0 Germany lead the other game against Costa Rica. They too have made a change at half-time. Incidentally, Klosterman on for the Germans. And we'll keep you updated with everything that happens as soon as it happens here on TalkSport 2. That game, Germany-Costa Rica, live for you right now over on TalkSport. Taniguchi, one of 3 Japanese players booked in the first half, lays it into the feet of Brighton's Mitoma, who scored in his last 2 appearances for the Albion. And then as Japan play it forward, trying to get it to stick with Doan on the right-hand side of the front 3, it's cleared and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Japanese left. They're almost out of possession, a back 4 at times now, Japan, with Taniguchi shuffling across to left back. They do have the option of being able to move Ito forward and just getting Itakura out onto the right-hand side of the back 4 if they want to. Spain have got this throw, which is taken by Azpilicueta, by Carvajal, I beg your pardon. It's nodded down by the Japanese back line into safety. Rodri then back for Pau Torres, and Unai Simon will get his first touch of the second half, and he's put under pressure by Maeda, and he takes the touch, and then he took a second, and Japan head forward after him, and the press is telling. Mitoma almost embarrassing Carvajal. Maeda chases after a ball laid back for the goalkeeper, and again he seemed to take an eternity in getting it away. Japan win it back. It's Doan! Oh, it's 1-1! They've equalised, and with his first touch of the night, Doan has tied it up at 1-1, and Spain's Achilles heel has been punished again. All change in the group. Now it's Japan who are in the runners-up position. 1-1.
I'll tell you what, we've commentated at the World Cup for I don't know how many games now, but the pair of us, we're all out of our seats there. It was incredible. Well, textbook press from Japan. Chalk and cheese their performance and their line-up and their mental press from first half to second half. They've had numbers up the pitch, and when the ball went forward, they pressed to a man. Everyone chased someone down. Goalkeeper under pressure, left back under pressure, and I've got to say, what an incredible strike and finish. Almost down the throat of the goalkeeper, but the movement on the ball, we're getting a replay now, and I think you'll see a little bit of movement, but poor goalkeeping. I think he should have done a lot better. Not set when that ball was on its way at him.
He's beaten by the pace of it. As you say, wasn't set. So half a second late diving, and it just got large on him very quickly, and all he could do was help it into the net. And Doan, who came off the bench to score the equalising goal against Germany, has come off the bench to score the equalising goal in this game. All 3 goals that they've had in this tournament have been scored by subs. And it's 1-1. And Japan is second in the group. I'm sorry, Stuart. Behind Spain, it's Spain 5, Japan 4, Germany 4, Costa Rica 3. And Japan have scored 3 and conceded 3. Germany have conceded 3 and scored 3. It's Japan's superior head-to-head record that at the moment would see them going through. Work for Germany to do that up country. Here's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, Germany leading through that goal by Serge Gnabry in the first half. They started brightly again in this second, but it's so narrow. Just a 1-0 advantage. 5 minutes gone, second half.
1-1. Here at Khalifa between Japan and Spain. Ito. Doan making a run right-hand side of the penalty area. He's got it again. He wants to turn it onto his right foot. Cross the face of goal. Held back in. And it's bundled in. Now did the ball go out of play? The celebration start, but the whistle has gone. It looked as though it went out of play for a goal kick just before it was hooked back into the near post. They're going to have a look. It is really, really close. Have Japan scored twice in 2.5 minutes is fractional whether this has gone out of play. Tanaka playing into Doan, who took on his man Balde on the outside. Low ball through the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper absolutely nowhere. Maida sliding in, couldn't get there. And that has gone out of play for a goal kick. It is so close. But Mitoma hooking it back to Tanaka after it had gone over the line. I'm absolutely convinced, having seen the replay, the whole of the ball is over the line. They're still looking at it. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure this isn't going to count, but it is so fractional. I mean, there's less than an inch, possibly less than a centimetre in it.
It looked out to me, and Aid to my left-hand side, he's either got a bad case of wind or he thinks it's still in. Well, I don't know which.
Well, the fact that they're still looking means that it is mighty close. To the naked eye at the time, I thought it had gone out. We're seeing another replay now that is inconclusive. That actually makes it look closer than the previous angle did.
I think for the sake of this group, please be a goal.
Well, if this is a goal, Japan go top of the group. And Spain would be second. And the Japanese support away to our left-hand side in particular.
How can it take this long? I don't understand how it takes this long.
Well, you and me both.
This would tell me they don't know.
Well, if they don't know, they've got to give the goal. If they can't conclusively prove it's gone out of play, they have to give the goal. So the ball worked through the penalty area. It was Mitoma that slid in with his left foot. Most of the ball, if not all of it, had gone over the line. Oh, it's a goal! It counts! And Japan lead by 2-1. They have turned this around in the space of 3 minutes. Absolutely extraordinary. Well, they did it against Germany, but to do it against Spain so quickly at the start of the second half just beggars belief. Some of the ball on the line. That was the judgment call as Mitoma pulled it back. There are Japanese supporters in tears, we can see on our monitor. Spain 1, Japan 2. Doan and Tanaka. And Japan now lead the group. It's a controversial moment. Germany in desperate trouble. They're showing a replay of it on the big screen. I still think it looks as though it's gone out of play. But the decision was made. They obviously couldn't conclusively prove that the whole of the ball was across the line before it was hooked back in by Mitoma. The decision is goal, ball not out of play, it says on the big screen. So it's now Japan 6, Spain 4, Germany 4, Costa Rica 3.
I'll tell you what, Jim, this is why I love this game so much. It's absolutely incredible, and I love tournament football so much. Incredible. The turnaround's been amazing.
Busquets gets it forward for Spain. Well, we were talking in the build-up about the fact that Japan are a second-half team, that they make changes at half-time. They play better after half-time. They've done it again today. Doan coming on, scoring within 3 minutes with just about his first contribution, then heavily involved in the second. Now they've headed it forward for Maeda. And the advantage might have worked well for Japan there, but the play forced to stop immediately because the Japanese player, Tanaka, has gone down holding his face. And so the referee obliged to stop it. It would have been a good advantage for Japan under any other circumstances, but he took a fearsome whack in the mush and is down and needing treatment. But Tanaka, the man that might just have provided the knockout blow for Germany, the Fortuna Düsseldorf player, plays in the second division in German football, and he's just scored one of the simplest but most significant goals of his life. Off his knee, a yard out. Spain leading at half-time, but 2-1 down 5 minutes into the second half in an extraordinary night of World Cup action on TalkSport 2.
Jim, you've got to say how he's pulled that back from where he actually has. The ground he made up, I just looked at the replay. When the ball was played across, he's made up 7-8 yards in the blink of an eye. And Spain have reacted down on the touchline. 2 subs coming on.
Ferran Torres will replace Nico Williams on the right. Morata's coming off, and Asensio will replace him through the middle. And they just put the table, the live table, up on the big scoreboard, and the Japanese supporters get the chance to shout as if there's no tomorrow yet again. So a double change for Spain. Asensio and Ferran Torres on for Morata and Nico Williams. Luis Enrique, was he complacent with the side that he picked, making 5 changes before this game?
Well, if you'd have asked that question to him at half-time, I'd have said no. But look at Japan now. The press is so aggressive.
And Spain can't deal with it. On that occasion, they slice it forward. It's returned through the midfield by Taniguchi. Headed down by Pau Torres, forward towards halfway. Are Japan going to finish this group by beating Germany and Spain and losing to Costa Rica? Well, if they win this game, they win the group. It is as simple as that. Spain have got a big margin for error, because even if they lose, they need a 9-goal swing between them and Germany to go out on goal difference. So you think that's not going to happen. But Germany now in desperate trouble in their game. They lead 1-0, but it's all academic. If this ends up this way, then it's going to be Japan first and Spain second. And they've got a freeze frame of the ball on or over the line as the ball was played forward down the left-hand side. So a massive turnaround here at the start of the second half. Bitter blows for Germany, and Costa Rica have just inflicted another one on them. Jeff Peters.
It's Costa Rica 1, Germany 1. Yeltsin Tejeda has equalised from close range. Initial shot was parried by the keeper, and they've turned it in. Well, the party atmosphere for the Germans has died down somewhat in the last 10 minutes. Costa Rica 1, Germany 1.
Germany now bottom of the group, Japan top of it. Germany at the start of the night, the only side that couldn't win the group, and as things stand right now, they're bottom of the group and going out. Costa Rica going out as well. Japan going through as group winners with Spain in second. That's how things stand. Just caught the eye of a Japanese journalist who's sitting about 10 feet to my right. He can't watch the game. He's on his phone, he's looking at monitors, he's writing notes that I'm sure are just doodles really, because he just can't bear to watch. And I caught his eye and he looked at me and I smiled and he just shook his head. I don't think he can believe what he's seen. We're 11 into the second half. It's Japan 2, Spain 1, and Doan who scored 4 minutes and 8 seconds after coming on against Germany, has scored 2 minutes and 51 seconds after coming on today, and 2 minutes 22 seconds later they scored again. Doan completely transforming this game. Japan completely transforming the group. Spain 1, Japan 2, and Germany are heading out as a result of it. Spain are going to limp over the line. They've got a big margin for error, don't forget. Germany in desperate trouble because they need Spain to score twice for them here, and they need to do themselves a favour as well. And Germany on the brink of elimination with half an hour to go. Pau Torres plays it out to the Spanish left-hand side. You would talk Sport 2, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce talking you through some pulsating, extraordinary action at the Khalifa International Stadium. It's been the World Cup of shocks, the World Cup of comebacks, the World Cup of substitutes. We've seen all three of those combine in the blink of an eye here in Khalifa tonight. Spain in possession again, but it's not effective possession now. And it'll be played forward through the midfield by the Japanese Kamada. But he can't get it to stick, and Spain get it forward again. And Ferran Torres, the former Manchester City man, taking it down towards the corner flag, and Mitoma, who did brilliantly for the second goal. Can't stop him. Pedri working it inside the box. Japan flick it away. They're in the position at the moment that they can afford to concede, Japan, and still go through. They wouldn't win the group if they conceded, but they would still go through. They're going to make a change that's been in the post for a while. Maida off, Asano coming on to replace him. Straight swap up front.
Yeah, I tell you what, they've come out in the second half, Japan. They've had a look at Spain in the first half and said, you know what, on the odd occasion we pressed them, they've not been very good. And they've just come out and they've actually gone after, like you would never believe, this Spanish side. And they've been brilliant at doing it. And Spain have just give the ball away cheaply, and that's got their noses in front.
So here's Takuma Asano, who plays his club football in Germany as well. 8 of the Japanese squad do. He was the man that scored the winner against Germany. He's been struggling for most of the season with a knee problem. A young man who was on the books of Arsenal as a teenager but didn't play for them. But he's on in the World Cup here, and his side lead by 2-1. He'll chase everything for half an hour. That was a poor challenge coming in from Doan. The referee might revisit it. Pedri was fouled. He got back to his feet quickly. Spain maintained possession. The referee played the advantage, but they didn't have it for long. And Japan work it down the right-hand side for Asano. Great running off the ball here from Ito. He's pulled it back towards the edge of the 6. He couldn't find Asano. And out comes Unai Simon and picks it up. And at the moment, Japan look the more likely side to score the 4th goal of the night.
What an exciting team to watch when they're in full flow, the Japanese. Brilliant. They're going forward in numbers. Clever football, interchange of football. Players running without the ball beyond the back line of Spain. And Spain are struggling to handle it.
You've seen that freeze frame of the ball when Mitoma made contact with it to flick it back inside the 6-yard box for Tanaka's 2-1 goal. You think it's in, or do you think it's out?
Jim, I think it's out of play. If I'm being quite honest with you, I think it's out of play unless you're taking a mark from the edge of the ball down. Definitely the circumference of the ball that is touching the floor is out of play, well and truly.
The ball had been spotted down on the quadrant like that. They'd have got it to be respotted, I think. Mitoma bringing it forward for the Japanese towards the edge of the penalty area. The hard luck story is on Germany, but now they're not doing themselves any favours, having conceded that equalising goal to Costa Rica. A game that's live view on TalkSport right now. That one's 1-1. This one's 2-1 to Japan. How quickly everything has changed at the beginning of this second half. Spain in possession. There's been another big chance up at the Albait, Jeff Peters.
Yeah, Germany trying to get back into this one, still 1-1. Musiala's hit the post, Muller with a shot deflected over, and Rudiger wide from 4 yards, all in the space of 2 minutes. Some game, Germany 1, Costa Rica 1.
Germany on top there. And here's Spain, desperately looking for answers.
The camera's just panned on to Infantino, where I don't know where he is, either this game or the German game. And his face looked like, well, this isn't supposed to happen. 2 of my big boy babies, you know what I mean? 2 of my favourites are going out, potentially.
Japan going to be going through. Qualified for a 7th successive World Cup, but they've never got beyond the round of 16. Last time they qualified for the knockout stages because of a superior disciplinary record. Are they going to win a group with Spain and Germany in it, having beaten them both? Well, it looks that way right now. Doan and Tanaka with the goals that have turned this game and this group and potentially the World Cup on its head. Because Spain would be in a different half of the draw. So as things stand right now, it will be Japan-Croatia and Spain-Morocco in the round of 16. Those games Monday and Tuesday respectively. But one thing this World Cup has taught us, don't take anything for granted. It can all change in an instant. The day that Belgium have been eliminated, are Germany going out as well? Looks that way at the moment. Japan bringing it forward again quickly. Kamada turning the ball through the midfield on the right-hand side. Able to find Doan. Balde comes across, knocks it past him and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Japanese right, midway inside the Spanish half. Balde walking away with the ball, trying to stop the throw being taken quickly. That will suit Japan. They're in absolutely no hurry, but they've played with a verve, with such an incessant nature in this second half. It's almost as if they were conserving energy in the first 45, get yourself to a position, and then go out and give it all you've got in the second period. And they've managed the workload brilliantly, and they've just shocked Spain, who was slow out of the traps after half-time and were punished emphatically twice.
This is just utopia, really, isn't it, for us? It really is. It's brilliant radio, it's brilliant football, and it's set the World Cup alight. And I think I've got to revisit my predictions in your prediction league, because I think one of the questions was, which big team do you think could go out early? And I've had Germany down. I've just got to check that tonight, Jimbo.
I had in the question, which was which team's going to get 3 points in the group. I've been smugly sitting on Japan ever since they lost to Costa Rica. No one else has got that question right in our prediction so far, and I thought I was in. Still, there you go. 2-1 Japan lead. Germany going out as things stand right now. And our colleague who had Germany to win the World Cup is nameless, but sitting there and is going to owe the rest of us some money. Here's Busquets in the midfield, inside the centre circle. Played forward by him towards Asensio. Asensio out towards Dani Olmo. This has been a ludicrously crazy group. Are Spain going to lose to a side who lost to a side who Spain beat 7-0? More changes. It's going to be a double change for Spain. Jordi Alba is going to be coming on. Gavi is coming off. And Ansu Fati is going to be coming on. Balde is coming off. So Jordi Alba for Balde, Ansu Fati for Gavi, and Japan are going to be bringing Taki Tomiyasu on, the Arsenal man. Will come into the back line. Is it Taniguchi that he will replace? I wonder. Taniguchi's on a yellow card, so it's just going to be a straight swap. The left of three centre-halves. That's the position that he's played. We're just waiting for the fourth official to put the numbers board up for Japan. And it is Kamada who's coming off. So they're taking off a winger and they're bringing on a defender. And Tomiyasu, obviously, conventionally a right-back in his Arsenal career, a right-back, but has played on the left of three centre-halves in this tournament for Japan. So it'll be interesting to see how Japan shuffle things around. Kamada off and Tomiyasu is on. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go over to right back? I think he is. So he'll play at right back in the 5. Ito will push forward into a more advanced role down that right flank as Japan go back now to a 5-4-1 formation. It's Japan 2, Spain 1. Japan winning the group, Spain going through with them. Costa Rica will finish third and Germany bottom. As things stand, the Germans are 20 minutes away from elimination in the group stages for a second successive World Cup, having not succumbed to that fate for 80 years prior to the last World Cup tournament. Here's Dani Olmo playing it forward through the midfield for Spain, and They've got a free kick. Torres was sat down on the floor, far from happy, and as soon as the free kick was given, he gets up and sprints after the loose ball in order to pick it up for a free kick. More goal action up at El Bait. Jeff Peters.
Incredible drama. Costa Rica have taken the lead with 20 minutes remaining. Germany have hit the post 3 times in this second half, but Costa Rica have gone in front. They lead Germany 2-1.
And that means that as things stand, Spain are going out. Spain and Germany would both be eliminated as it stands, because the impossible double is on of the Japan and Costa Rica victories. And Japan will bring it forward here, and they might have a chance for a third. Sliding in on the edge of the penalty area, Sano can't wrap his foot around it, and it goes wide. Now, a suspicion potentially of offside against that Costa Rica goal. I don't know whether the VAR's having a look at it, but if it counts, this group is Japan 6, Costa Rica 6, Spain 4, Germany 1. And Spain and Germany are both 20 minutes away from being eliminated from the World Cup as things stand right now. Extraordinary scenes in both games.
Jim, I'm not sure I've seen an evening's football like this, with so many twists and turns. Big teams threaten to go out the competition. Incredible. And the Japanese here have been absolutely magnificent, getting on the front foot, chasing the game. And the conundrum they've got at the moment, do they shore things up or do they keep chasing?
They're still checking that goal in the game up at Al Bait. Is it offside? We suspect it may well be, which will be a lifeline for the Spanish. But that just shows the thin tightrope on which they're walking. What's the decision? Check over, goal stands. So Spain are going out right now. They will be eliminated. Germany being eliminated as well. So Spain desperately need to find an equaliser or hope that Germany can. Spain haven't worked the Japanese goalkeeper now for 29 minutes. Japan 6, Costa Rica 6, Spain 4, Germany 1 is how this group stands. Germany and Spain, both leading 1-0 at half-time, are now both 2-1 down in their respective matches. I've never seen a night of World Cup drama like this. And this, let's be honest about it, wasn't a night where we were necessarily expecting it. But boy, whatever happens from here, has it been the most absorbing night of football. Spain with the ball through the penalty area. Out for Dani Carvajal. He's pulled it back. Rodri with an opportunity to chip it in. Dani Olmo played in instead. He nutmegged the nearest Japanese defender, but they covered well, and Mitoma lays it back. Taniguchi clears, straight out of play. Luis Enrique can't take a mark inside the technical area, wants to restart play quickly, but the multi-ball system means that Spain can quickly take a throw. Hang on, it's all changed again up at the Al Bait, Jeff Peters.
Germany have equalised. It's 2 apiece. Kai Havertz on at substitute. It's being checked, of course, but Havertz has got the goal. It's Costa Rica 2, Germany 2.
Spain out of jail then, as things stand right now. Wow. What can you say? And with 20 minutes to go, well, 16 minutes to go plus stoppage time, you wouldn't bet against it changing another 2 or 3 times. The Spanish on the front foot. Ferran Torres, good sliding challenge. Mitoma laid off Dani Olmo on the edge of the penalty area. Spain want a penalty. They're not going to get one for that. Pau Torres will play wide to the left for Jordi Alba. His ball inside the penalty area for Asensio. His shot is blocked by Yoshida. Spain working it back through the midfield, able to clip a ball down towards Dani Carvajal. Japan lead this 2-1. They're going to win the group as things stand. Spain grimly hanging on to second thanks to that German equaliser. 2-2 in that game between Costa Rica and Germany. Big roar goes up from the Spanish contingent here as the table is put up again that shows Spain back in second place above the Costa Ricans.
Jim, pre-game someone suggested that Spain might contrive to put Germany out. Well, actually, Germany scoring has put Spain through. That's the incredibleness of this group at the moment.
High ball inside the penalty area is headed away by Doan. At times, Japan are operating with a back seven. They've earned the right to do that. They lead by 2-1. I wonder if Germany are going to go out anyway, whether they could be in a position to contrive to eliminate Spain later on. Things really work like that. Ball inside the penalty area from Ferran Torres is headed away by Itakura. His header won't quite get towards halfway. Japan are going to see very little of the Spanish half now. We've got 15 to go. You're with TalkSport 2. Over on TalkSport, that 2-2 game between Germany and Costa Rica. Here is Japan 2, Spain 1. Long straight ball forward. Looking to try and get Ansu Fati in. Japan defending mob handily can work it away. Morita gets it further clear. Out it goes to the left-hand touchline for Spain. Dani Olmo working well with Jordi Alba. Is he blocked off? Referee says no. Goal kick. We'll go back to Albait. Jeff Peters.
It's 2-2, 15 minutes to go, and Germany desperately trying to get back in front in this game and hope for changes in the other one as well. But Costa Rica also look like they might get the next goal. 2-2, what a game.
Oh! Crowd here just a shade under 45,000. And another extraordinary moment at Albait, Jeff.
The ball has just been crossed from the left-hand side, and the effort came in from Fulkrug, who came off the bench and scored in the previous game. I'm not sure whether he's missed it or the keeper's made a save. It's a counter-attack. It's end-to-end. Loads of drama. Still 2-2. What a save.
Navas ended up wearing it. It hit his head. He knew. He dived and hoped, trying to get his hands to it. It hit his forehead, but he saved it. And it remains 2-2 there. 2-1 Japan leads Spain here, 14 to go. And when you haven't got the emotional investment in what's going on the field, you can just sit back and listen to the drama unravel in front of you. It's just a magnificent night of World Cup football. Spain are in possession. Still plenty of time for them to come from behind to win this game. Remember, it's 60 years since they led a game at half-time in the World Cup and lost it. Is that going to happen tonight? That one that they lost was to the eventual winners as well, which will be an omen for Japan. Well, that might be stretching it even in this remarkable World Cup. On the right-hand side of the penalty area, it's pulled back by the Spaniards to Asensio. Asensio has got every Japanese player goal side of him. Ansu Fati is up there, he's headed it down. Spain just committing bodies forward. This has very quickly become attack versus defence. But still they can't work Gonda. Rodri, who's capable of the long-range spectacular, lays it back to the right for Dani Carvajal. Carvajal through the midfield for Busquets to Pau Torres. Out it goes to the left-hand side of the Spanish midfield. Jordi Alba to Pedri. Pedri, right-footed ball, chipped over the top. Ansu Fati chasing after. It's going to be able to get there. He brings it down on the left-hand side of the area. They're ahead of Tomiyasu. Pull back towards Asensio. Asensio try to turn. Jordi Alba feeds it in. Cleared by Morita. And out towards the far touchline, where the Spaniards won't let it go out of play for a throw. 2-2 in the other game. As things stand, Japan win the group, Spain the second. But a Costa Rica goal changes all that. They have led, and Spain at one stage tonight were third in the group and heading out, but they're the right side of the dotted line right now. Drama like we've seldom seen. Pedri. Back through the midfield again for Rodri. And the Manchester City man works it down towards the right-hand side without the necessary zip to find Ferran Torres. Matoma intercepted and put it out of play for a throw. An immediate inquest. Ferran Torres bellowing at his former Manchester City teammate. Torres is cutting a pretty dejected figure. I think the pressure is getting to a few down there in red at the moment. 12 to go. Spain trail 2-1 on the night, but still heading through. The Spanish with Pau Torres and then Rodri. And it's past Carvajal. Out towards Ferran Torres again. Level the edge of the penalty area. Carvajal's got it. If Japan concede, they would still be going through, but the positions at the top of the group would swap round. So Japan have got a bit of a margin for error right now. But a Costa Rican goal wouldn't help them. Ball goes out to the far touchline where Doan will try and keep it in for Japan, but they're not getting anything to stick right now. It's relentless Spanish pressure, but without the potency that they so desperately require. Jordi Alba coming in off the left-hand touchline has pulled it back. Pedri thought about a shot, thought better of it. Dani Olmo in a more central position, he can ping one in. It's headed away by Yoshida on the edge of the penalty area. Now it comes down to the Spanish right for Ferran Torres, who will get the run on Mitoma. And Mitoma doing well to block the cross. And then Kubo comes back to double up and try and get it away, but they haven't been able to. And then it's played back through the midfield towards Pedri. Doan, who's been the hero for Japan, coming on and making such an impression, has been able to get it half clear, but they can't get past the edge of the centre circle. Now they might be able to, but it's just a high ball hoisted forward from the midfield from Tanaka. He's literally punted it up in the air. It's bounced inside the centre circle, and Spain will bring it back again. 10 to go. Japan hanging on, and they are increasingly hanging on to a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, they certainly are. They can't even get hold of the ball. Spain are starving them of the ball, and when they have got a half turnover, they can't get it down to surge forward, which they are a threat when they do. But there might be a breakaway goal on for the Japanese, who knows?
Jordi Alba on the Spanish left. Game almost just going through a little bit of a lull before the dramatic climax. Play forward around the corner. Ansu Fati's going to get there, but he's at a tight angle. He can't pull it back. And there's a little double ricochet. He's got out of play for a goal kick, which is the best that they could have hoped for, really. A goal kick that'll be taken by Gonda. He'll be in no hurry. We'll go back to Albay. Talk Sports Jeff Peters.
Costa Rica 2, Germany 2. 10 minutes to go. It really is end-to-end stuff. This game really could go either way, but they're desperately hoping for positive news from your game. It's 2-2.
So just to reiterate how the group stands. Japan 6, Spain 4, Costa Rica 4, Germany 2. And we're seeing another replay. No one will ever convince me Mitoma has kept that in for the cross back to Tanaka that led to the 2-1 goal. I think it is literally as close as not having the technology to definitively prove that it had gone out of play. But it looks out of play. And it's a hugely controversial moment if the night ends like this. But of course, with that game upcountry ending or being all square at the moment, it's not a knockout blow for Spain. It does mean that they will have a different opponent in the round of 16 and a different progression through the knockout stages, unless they can find an equaliser. Germany heading out at the moment. They're 8 minutes away from elimination. Spain hanging on there grimly, but the Costa Rica goal will knock them out if they can't find an equaliser of their own. Japan have finally managed to get into Spanish territory and have got a free kick, which will be taken about 10 yards outside the penalty area, and 5 or 6 in from the left-hand touchline. And Ito and Doan, who from this distance look like brothers with the bleach blonde hair. Ball clicked inside the penalty area, and the offside trap spectacularly failed. But the header was from Itakura straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. They played it in. Spain kept the line, and Japan just ran past them. We saw Germany do that the other night, and that's another Spanish defensive tactic that surely could be exploited by future opponents.
Well, really poor that was. Literally held the line in the hope that someone's going to run offside, and I don't think on that occasion anyone did. And what you've got to do, that first header's has got to be anything but goal bound. You've got to retain it for somebody else that's going to come and follow in.
That was the way they defended that Rudiger disallowed goal the other night, where Rudiger hadn't been picked up and just made his run half a second too early, scored but was offside. That's such a risky tactic from the Spanish, and everybody now knows they do it. Mitoma try to win it back for Japan, who still lead 2-1 with 7 minutes to go in that other game. Germany have hit the woodwork 4 times, more than any other side in any game at this World Cup. And they're going out unless there are more dramatic late twists in this most absorbing of tales. Now Japan on the counter-attack. There's a cynical block-off on halfway. Referee plays the advantage. Asano is then beaten to it. Doan will put the press on the goalkeeper. There was a covering defender, but it looked like a yellow card offence on halfway, which is the point that Hajime Moriyasu, the Japanese coach, is making. And when the ball does go out of play, it might be revisited and the referee might take further sanctions. But Spain have got it back and will work it through the midfield now with Asensio. And Asensio will find Pedri. And Pedri goes out towards Jordi Alba. And Jordi Alba plays it down the left-hand side. And there's another goal! Jeff Peters!
Oh, incredible scenes. Germany now lead by 3-2. It's Kai Havertz who's got his second. 6 minutes remaining. They may be going out, but they are ahead here late on. Germany lead 3-2.
That's great news for the Spanish, of which more in a moment. As on the edge of the penalty area, Asensio tries his luck. And Luis Enrique just telling his players, I think, calm down. It's a 3-2 Germany lead, so they're now level on points with Spain, but with an inferior goal difference. The ball played in from the left, from the Spanish left. 2 Japanese headers. They get it away. Back from Jordi Alba. Pedri's got it. Pedri clipping it down to the right-hand side for Carvajal. Costa Rica 2, Germany 3, Spain 1, Japan 2. Dani Olmo, edge of the penalty area. Out to the right-hand side, Asensio back in towards the penalty spot, and it's cleared. Yoshida able to dig it away, and it goes out of play for a throw. Going to be taken on the Spanish right-hand side. So this group right now, Japan 6, Spain 4, Germany 4, Costa Rica 3, but Spain's goal difference advantage over Germany is 6. So it's really healthy. And the fact they put 7 past Costa Rica has basically bailed them out. So Spain are fine as things stand. What they don't want is Costa Rica winning that game. A Germany win is fine unless it's a monumentally huge win, and there's not going to be the time for them to score enough goals to be able to pull that off, or for Spain to further disintegrate here. So Spain hanging on, look as though they're going to get away with it. But can Japan hang on for victory here tonight? The Japanese make the change. Endo for Tanaka. And that's their final substitution. And they're bringing on Wataru Endo, who plays his club football in Stuttgart, a man who was in the 2018 squad but didn't feature. He started both the previous games, left out tonight. He gets the final few minutes. Endo for Tanaka, the final Japanese change, just fresh legs in the midfield as Japan strive to win this group. And they've got a 2-1 lead to protect with 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, as it stands, both of these teams are through. If you're talking about teams looking after the result, both of these are in a position to do that, but I'm not sure they will. Spain want to keep coming forward, and I might just leave my commentary position very shortly, Jim, and go and join the Tokyo Massive down there for some celebrations.
Yeah, in front of that Ultra Nippon flag, which we've seen a few times through this World Cup. They are bouncing. 2-1, Japan leads Spain. Still time for Spain to win it, but if they do, Japan will be in a spot of bother. With Germany leading that, Japan can't afford to lose this. I mean, it is so tight. Pedri on the left-hand side of the midfield. Back he goes through that midfield area again. And we are in a position, actually, if Japan are to concede now, they go out. Ball inside the box towards the edge of the penalty area. Yoshida knocks it away. Because Germany have 4 points. They've scored 5 and conceded 5. If Japan were to concede, they would have 4 points, but would have scored 4 and conceded 4. So Germany would go through on goals scored if Japan concede. So all of a sudden, where it was Spain that were precariously walking the tightrope, now it's the Japanese.
It almost seems to me, Jim, you're in the best position of your 3rd or 4th in the group.
Forward he comes through the midfield again, with Spain working down towards the right for Ferran Torres. Germany have had the ball in the net again, but it's been disallowed for offside. They're checking it. Shot from the edge of the penalty area here from Jordi Alba is blocked. Japan 2, Spain 1. But just to reiterate, Spain, as things stand, finishing 2nd in the group, and Japan winning the group. If Japan concede, they're going out. with Germany leading that other game at the moment 3-2, and the Germans are just hoping for a miracle here, and the ball is played in, and it's a brilliant defensive interception from Yoshida. His goalkeeper Gonda saved the initial shot, which came in from Asensio, and Yoshida got there before it was tapped over the line for the equalising goal. And we're in the 90th minute. It's going to be so cruel on Japan if they go out, but they're in trouble. Dani Olmo, saved by Gonda, diving down, gratefully grasps the ball, is embraced by two of his teammates, helped to his feet by Itakura. There may be a late twist. Japan determined to make sure it's not them on the wrong end of it.
Jim, this isn't even England. We got England to come on Sunday night, and, well, we're all sweating up the bleachers up here. It's incredible. I know that doesn't sound right.
It's a graphic description. Japan have got the ball into Spanish territory. Asensio's shot, and Gonda got his right arm to it, but it was brilliant from Yoshida, because had he not got there, Ferran Torres was going to be able to kick it in for the goal that would eliminate Japan. Ball goes back. We're gone 7 minutes of added time. 7 minutes for Japan to withstand the threat. Now more drama up at Al Bayt. Jeff Peters.
Costa Rica 2, Germany 4. Nicholas Füllkrug scoring. It was disallowed by the assistant on the near side. It's now been given. There was an issue with the earpieces from the officials. Stephanie Frappart come to the touchline. The goal has been given. Costa Rica 2, Germany 4.
Now that doesn't have any material effect really, but it just reiterates the situation for Japan. They have no safety net. They're on the highest of high wires here. They lead 2-1 in a match in which they've come from behind. They're in 7 minutes of stoppage time. They mustn't concede. If they do concede, Spain win the group and Germany go through from an implausible situation a few minutes ago. If Japan don't concede, they win the group, Spain go through and Germany go out. Pedri turning it round the corner inside the penalty area. Gonda can come out, slide out, get there first. And we'll run a few more seconds off the clock. It's Japan 2, Spain 1. You would talk Sport 2 on a night I don't think you and I will ever forget.
It's been an absolute magnificent evening's football of twists and turns and forwards and, wow, and at the end of it, you might have two heavyweights coming out of the group, you might not, and we still don't know.
Just a great night of football. And we've had nearly 2 of the 7 extra minutes, and the ball is loosely played by Carvajal forward. Every time Spain lose possession, it's greeted with a huge cheer. And a sense not just here in the Khalifa International Stadium. Japan have a throw midway inside their own half, which they will take on the left flank. It is a night where every one of these sides at some stage was heading out of the tournament. But who's going to be there at the end of the night? Japan top, Spain second right now. It's 2-1 to Japan here. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time play. Germany lead the other one by 4 goals to 2. Will that be academic? It will if Japan can hold on here. Spain will bring it forward. We've seen so many stoppage time goals. Another one here. If Spain were to score, it would be a mortal wound for Japan, you would feel. Pedri playing it out to the Spanish left. Worked back by Jordi Alba for Pedri again. Pedri down to the right for Rodri. Rodri to Carvajal. Carvajal has got Asensio outside him. Just drops it down at his feet in his white boots. Asensio back through the midfield for Pau Torres. Is Pau Torres going to shoot? He does. It's not the best. Morita is able to block it and Japan can get it away.
We talk about the honesty of football. We've got 2 teams out there, Jim, that are both going through to the next round of this competition. Would that be correct?
At the moment.
At the moment. And nothing will change in the other game because Germany are winning 4-2. So, basically, we're watching Spain flood forward to try and get an equaliser in this game where there's no bearing whatsoever on the result, really, is there?
Yeah, Germany can't complain that Spain haven't given it a go because Spain are now in a position that they can get Germany knocked out of this World Cup, but they're doing everything they can to get the equaliser, which would mean they'd win the group. Possession stats, 83% Spain, 17% Japan. But Japan lead it by 2-1. It hasn't been a smash and grab, it has been an excellent tactical masterclass from Moriyasu, but his side aren't there yet. 3 to go, ball inside the area again. Ferran Torres rifles in across far too deep. Jordi Alba's going to run after. He's going to be able to keep it in on the left-hand touchline. He's pulled it back for Pedri outside the penalty area. Right-footed ball in from him. Van Yoshida gets it away. Help further clear down that right-hand side by Dohan. The Japanese ran after it for a moment and then thought better of it, and they just dropped back into the back 9 again. It is 9-1-0, this formation they're playing. It's not quite as blatant as that, but it is a bank of 5 and a bank of 4, only about 3 yards in front of them.
I think you'll find it's 6-4 or 5-5. I really do. It's incredible.
And they're nearly there, the Japanese. The samurai blue. Not far away from the most famous night in their World Cup history. It would be so painful if they were to blow it from here, for their perspective. And they're not there yet. Carvajal down to the Spanish right-hand side again for Asensio. His low ball in, knocked away. Right-footed clearance from Taniguchi, which comes out for Rodri. It's the Japanese fans you can hear doing everything they can to get their side over the line. They're so close. Ansu Fati back for Pedri. Jordi Alba. You think that Gonda's going to have more work to do yet? There's 90 seconds to go. Spain with Dani Olmo got an opportunity. Oh, he'll drive it wide and out of play, and that's going to run seconds off the clock. And by the time Gonda takes this goal kick, Japan will be only a minute away.
Incredible. Gonda, the ball's gone right out to the corner flag, and if I was him, I'd have jogged after it. Never mind the multi-ball system. Go and get the one furthest away. Incredible performance, incredible tactical approach. The coach has got to be glorified for this. He's put a team up to be defensive in the first half. He's gone after the game in the second, and they thoroughly deserve everything they get.
If they can get it. 50 seconds to go. Rodri. He's a minimum of 50 seconds, remember. Ball headed back then by Itakura to his goalkeeper. Gonda takes it, slides down, and as if it's the most acrobatic diving save he's ever made, but he's just running seconds off the clock, and he affords himself just a little grin. And the monitor again pans to Japanese faces in the crowd, and they too now, you sense, do believe, because that final whistle is only seconds away. Japan leading Spain 2-1, and they're on the verge of knocking Germany out of the World Cup as a result of it. The 7 minutes very nearly up. 10 seconds to go. It might be time added on within the 7 minutes yet. Jordi Alba with the ball, knocked away on the edge of the penalty area and rifled high up in the air by Endo to get it away, and that is that! One of the most dramatic nights of group stage football in World Cup history. At half-time, Japan, staring elimination in the face, have come back to beat Spain by 2-1 and win the group. This city, this stadium, one of the most painful in Japanese football history. They talk about the agony of Doha in 1993, a stoppage time equaliser that stopped Japan qualifying for their first ever World Cup. But a generation on, they have beaten Germany here. They have now come from behind to beat Spain here. Dohan and Tanaka in the space of 2.5 minutes at the start of the second half, on a night where all 4 nations at one stage were about to be eliminated. It's Japan that come from behind to win the group, and Spain are going to limp through with them. Remarkable scenes on the pitch. The Japanese players in floods of tears, embracing each other. The supporters celebrating like there's no tomorrow. Their Spanish counterparts actually stay on the field, applauding the Japanese side that have vanquished them. But this was a night like few. Can't remember an awful lot of parallels for the drama that we've seen in the group stage of this competition. Japan winning the game with more than an element of controversy as well. The winning goal scored by Tanaka. Mitoma playing him in. It looked as though the ball had gone out of play for a goal kick. They inspected every conceivable angle but couldn't find conclusive proof. The goal stood. Japan held on a night that they had only 16% possession of the ball. They have 100% possession of top spot of the group. It's a remarkable achievement. A simply astonishing feat for Japan to beat both Germany and Spain and finish top of the group. They'll next play Croatia. Spain will play Morocco. And Germany, well, call Lufthansa. They're coming home. It is finished. Japan 2, Spain 1.